What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of On the Wagon Podcast, a sobriety podcast with a shot of comedy. Hey, we've been gone for about a month. I just realized our last episode was launched on June 25th, it looked like, from my calendar. So sorry I've been away. We've been working on our businesses, and they've been rolling, so it's been good keeping my mind off things. Web development company's going great. Our online product brokerage company has been growing at like every month, even since the shutdown. So that's been just such a blessing. And then also just recently, I just launched a passion project of mine. We are Oshkosh Apparel, connecting Oshkosh with some of the old cool logos from Oshkosh and some new ones. And we got all kinds of fun designs for t-shirts and tin signs. So that's just been awesome this last month. We launched it about 4 weeks ago. It's just a fun project. So I'm doing a lot, but I have a good schedule in place that I still have some free time that I get to enjoy myself this summer. But on to some drinking news, I guess you could say. I've been so busy that it's been a blessing. I was telling Jenny, I haven't really had any cravings at all, which has been great. Granted, I haven't been really out at the bars, obviously, or out in too many social situations, but it's been good. My workouts I've been lifting more and also been, keeping the running game going, but really want to start playing hoops again and get back into that, playing some pickup ball, starting to get some shots up. So, all the business things, and I've been on a few other podcasts, and if you guys know that, I do some work for Winners Waltz and Worldviews as well, for Aaron Armstrong. It's all time management. There's enough hours in the day to do things. It's just how you manage your time, right? I still got to watch every TBT Marquette, the champions of TBT this year. I watched every game like that. I penciled in my schedule. I said from 6 to 8, I'm watching this game, but I'm gonna have my laptop going too, and seeing if I can cut some work into that as well. So for those of you who are struggling with time management, it took me a long time to figure it out. I used to come home from my other job and just lay around and say, feel like, oh man, I got to go back the next day to the job. I'd still work out a little bit, but it's just been a difference. It's a total mindset change, and it's been good. So a lot of good things brewing over here, as you could say, with our businesses. So really excited about that. But today I thought I got a coffee going. Just got done with about a 2-mile jog. I did a tough leg workout yesterday, so this was just a relaxing jog just to get the lactic acid and sweat out today, basically. But so today I was thinking, I'm out of stories. I'm out of drinking stories. This is our 20th episode, I believe, and I'm out of drinking stories. I'm like, that can't be. Like, seriously think. But I'm not out of stories. I got tons and tons and tons. But today I'm going to call this one the Milwaukee Wedding Nightmare. All right. Even though it wasn't too big of a nightmare, the wedding was beautiful, and one of my good friends got married. But the stuff that led up to it was just one of those days, right? So let's start it off here. I'm gonna have a swig of coffee here. So it starts off. So the wedding is Saturday in Milwaukee at, I think, like 2:30. It's an afternoon wedding. I head down to one of my best friend's house with my other best friend. We head down Friday, of course. The NBA playoffs are going on. We're staying at his house. He lives just outside of Milwaukee, so have some drinks, some Captain Coke, some pizza. Chill vibes. Like, it always started so damn chill with me all the time, and it was such a fun night. It's like I don't get to see those guys as much, and so this was about, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, but it just, like, I don't know, it just felt like old times. I love it. I still love it, hanging out with those guys. So anyway, so we have drinks, start to get that buzz going. We're like, hey, all right, let's hit downtown. Go downtown. We're not in downtown Milwaukee. We're in downtown Waukesha. For those of you who are from the Waukesha area, you guys are probably laughing. There's some other classic bars, the Social Club and the Salty Toad, I think it's called. We call it the Krusty Toad. It's it's college bars in a non-college town, even though Carroll College is there, university or whatever. Anyways, I don't even remember what bar we started at. Again, we get there. I have a good group of guys. We're taking drinks, taking shots, and then all of a sudden we start, starting to feel good. It's probably about 10 o'clock, 11, the games are starting to wrap up, so, we're kind of DJs going. Somehow we get separated. I'm in half the group, and the other half goes to the Social Club. So now it's getting pretty late, probably about midnight, I would say. I'm pretty wasted. I don't know. I don't remember too much from this night, to be honest with you. But apparently, I'm walking into the bar. My ID's gets checked. Fine, and I'm laughing, whatever, walking in, and somehow I get punched from behind, like the side of my face. I get punched, sucker punched. No idea what happened. I don't know if I said anything or not, or if I got punched in the wrong, if I was the wrong guy that got hit, but I got clocked. Don't remember anything. The bouncer grabs me, gets me kind of out of the commotion, because obviously I was just like literally just walking in and get hit. And yeah, so all of a sudden it's chaos, right? I guess. So I'm outside, the cops are there. So this guy that hit me, apparently, I went back and read the police report probably like 2 years ago. Nothing really said why he hit me or what happened, or there was an incident. I don't know if there was some back talk between us two, or something, but I don't remember it, and my friends don't think I said anything either. So that's why like the story kind of, I didn't press charges or anything. I think it's to just get this guy out of here, away from me or whatever. But I remember talking to the police vaguely that night. So Friday night, I was so drunk I don't really remember getting hit. So the next morning I wake up, we're back home getting ready to start drinking again and go to this wedding at this nice place downtown in Milwaukee. I wake up and I'm like, my side of my face hurts. Didn't really forgot that I got hit. It's not a bruise, but it's a good lump, I would say, on my, it was like right on my like jaw, basically. It wasn't like noticeable, but if you really looked, you could see it was like a little more swollen. So I must put ice on it. But then there was this like little baby cut, right? Now remember this part of the story. This little baby cut that was like almost like for guys when you're shaving, where you just have that little slice, right? Okay, just remember this. So woke up, get ready, hungover. So we go to our favorite spot for lunch. So we Uber from Waukesha to Milwaukee, but first we go to our favorite spot for lunch. It's an awesome sports bar. We always go there, have lunch, rip shots, and it starts pouring out, right? So it's like noon now. So now I don't smoke unless I'm drinking. So I'm like smoking cigarettes if I start drinking. That happens on occasion, not all the time, but a few times, a lot of times. I probably don't inhale them. It's just stupid. So I remember it's pouring out, so we can smoke outside. So we decide, and we're all dressed up. Remember, I'm wearing, everybody's wearing their nice wedding clothes. They're in a suit, hair's gelled. We smoke under this. We go to smoke a cigarette under the deck, and I'm walking out, and I just smash my head on this, like, because I've had. Now I'm probably still drunk from the night before. I'm hungover. I ate lunch, but now we're ripping shots because I feel good again. And I like hit my head on the like lower beam of this deck. So now, not bleeding. I didn't cut myself, but all of a sudden on the back of my head, I can feel this huge egg on my head. It's like has grown like bad. So I'm like, oh my god, can this get any worse? So my buddy's laughing. He's like, you really just smashed your head. So we're laughing. And go back in, have another drink or two. So then we get in this Uber. So we're all feeling good at that point. Again, so it's a decent Uber, probably 25, 30 minutes to this place. Get down to this nice Catholic church down in, a big church down in Milwaukee. Some of our other friends who didn't come down the night before there and whatever. And so I'm sitting in church, and it's a long, long service. It's a full Catholic mass, I remember. And there was all of a sudden I'm looking up front, and my friend goes, you know who that is sitting ahead of you? I'm like, no, I don't really. I'm not going to say the name, but it was a former NFL quarterback. Literally play, or I think now at that time I think he was still in the NFL. So then we're like, oh man, this is going to be interesting at the reception. But we'll get to that part anyways. So all of a sudden I'm not like halfway through, and I'm like, all of a sudden, and my buddy's like, hey, you're kind of bleeding down your neck. I'm like, what? So I like leave the pew and go look down and go to the bathroom, and that little baby shaving cut is starting to bleed, because it's not dripping blood by any means, but it's just like that nagging shaving cut. I can't stop the bleeding, so I don't know what to do. So like I don't. My phone is on me, but I'm not gonna text those guys. I'm like, I gotta sit out of this mask. I can't even see the end of it because I'm like holding like tissue paper up against my chin. It would not stop bleeding. So then I go. I'm like, okay, is there a gas station or a CVS or a Walgreens across the street? Now, granted, now we're probably talking like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I'm pretty buzzed, drunk. trying to find this Walgreens across the street. Everybody else is in the church trying to find like a Band-Aid. Get in there, can't find a Band-Aid. They don't. Or I couldn't find a place for Band-Aids. Or no, take this back. I did find a place. It was a little gas station, a little Quick Trip, I think it was. And I found a Band-Aid, put it on. Well, that wasn't sticking because it was on like the part of your chin where a Band-Aid would just not stay. So so we get out. So finally the wedding's done. The ceremony's over. So now we got to go downtown Milwaukee for the reception. But we have like a 2-hour gap where, before we can start having cocktails at this place. So we go to this other bar downtown Milwaukee. Fun time. So I get in the car. Half the guys ride with the people. Like, there was 2 cars that came down not with us, so we didn't have to Uber down there. So I rode with one of the guys, and 2 of my good friends like, hey, we got to stop and get you something. Like, why don't we get you some like glue? Like, you can just glue it together, or like that tough skin or fake skin where you kind of like put it on a cut and it seals up. So we do that. We find a Walgreens and it works. Thank God. So it stops the police. So then I'm ram backed up, here we go. So we get to this place. I remember it was like Fireside Bar or something. Like, still, it was a May wedding, so it's like prime time, like 5:00, and I'm just pounding Captain and Cokes. At this time, Jenny was coming back. She was actually doing a wedding for her business in Mexico, actually. Yeah, Mexico. I was gonna say Michigan. So she's like on her way back. She's texting me. I'm like, I think I'll just, like, you don't have to come. I don't know. It was stupid. I should have just invited her there, and we could have just drove home from there, after the wedding. Anyways, that was a mess on itself. But so we get to this awesome wedding reception, just awesome. All my friends are there, and like, that night was great. Like, nothing really happened. But now I got this egg on my head. I got like my side of my chin is like swollen. I got this cut. Like, those are the 3 worst like things here that are happening. But the wedding was super fun. We ended up talking to this NFL quarterback, and we get all blitzed up. We're asking all these dumb questions. Like, it was super fun. We ended up actually, after the reception, going out for a little bit, but not like full night. We just kind of lay low and went back to Waukesha and had ordered pizzas. But that was just a nightmare of a wedding for 2 days. Like, again, I just love sometimes you go back and think wow, they weren't that bad, and they really weren't. But it's like, at the time, like, why did I have to get so drunk the night before? Like, and then, why I got so drunk the night before? Was it my fault that I got sucker punched? No. Or could it have been? I don't know. And then the next day I start drinking heavily before everybody else does already. Like, I could have waited till 4:00. I didn't have to drink before we went into the ceremony. I smashed my head on that beam. So it's like, I get home Sunday and see Jenny, who I haven't seen for like a week. And all of a sudden I got like a bruise, half my face is like partly swollen. I got this like shaving cut on my chin, and this big like egg on the side of my head from hitting that beam. But just one of those nights, and that's how I call it, the Milwaukee wedding nightmare story. But like I said, it wasn't really a nightmare, but all these parts just added up. I was running today, trying to think of a fun, like, a story, and I don't know how I thought of that, but that was super funny. We had some good times in Milwaukee, in the Waukesha area. Classic times. A lot of laughs. I could say, down on Water Street. But yeah, that's our episode today. A little fun one. But yeah, we're gonna try to keep more consistent on these. I'm gonna get back in that routine as fall comes around here to try to do one at least 2 a month. I think at the minimum. But like I said, if you guys, I know a lot of my friends have subscribed. I actually got a pretty good following on YouTube. So if any of you guys remember some fun stories, I know I got to do some Platteville stories. We have some fun Platteville ones. So I'll have to do that. That was a little post-college Platteville fun. I think was a good time, and still some of my great friends there. But that'll be the episode today on the Wagon Podcast. Remember to follow me on Instagram on the Wagon Pod, and then my personal Instagram at dspan34. You can see all kinds of fun stuff on there. I do some business stuff. I do some podcast stuff. I do my motivational stuff and quotes that I like to follow, and just anything sports related. That's me. That's who I am. So on the Wagon Podcast, and also be sure to please leave a 5-star and a review on my iTunes. I know I got a couple, but we really want to start gaining that. And if you listen on our YouTube page, do the same. Really appreciate it. We'll keep this podcast going. So have a good rest of the week, everyone, and we will talk to you guys soon.